Hello everyone, it's Mary. Welcome back to the channel. So I always look forward to these monthly collabs with Scrapbena Creations. We have so much fun because we take a small mini stamp set and we make a whole bunch of cards and hopefully try to inspire you to use those more inexpensive, smaller stamp sets that you have in your stash. So today we are going to be using this Manatee set from Fawn. It is adorbs. And before we get into that, I wanted to showcase this new marker bag that I got from Pear Blossom Press. So Kathy Rakusin and Amanda from Pear Blossom Press teamed up to give us a bag that is functional and a great reminder of all the wonderful coloring tips that Kathy has shared with us. As you can see here, it has all the wonderful reminders that Kathy teaches in her classes about the coloring process. So it's just a really great visual representation. It's functional, it's cute. I used it today in this one to put the colors that I'm going to be coloring with. So it's just nice to keep me organized. But above all, though, I just love Kathy and Amanda. So I was so happy to showcase this. Congrats to you two wonderful ladies. Okay, so let's move into the first thing. Now I'm going to show you a lot of techniques that I'm going to do throughout the video one time usually. I might show ink blending a couple, but on this first one, I'm going to show you how I'm going to make this shaker bag. Now I have a lot of slimline dies that I'm using. If you saw from the picture, I am making all slimline cards today. The collab between Scrapbena Creations and I is usually a 10 card set. So I do 5 and she does 5. And this way we can just have a different variety of our styling for the collaboration for all of you. Okay, so I took some of my slimline die packaging and I have this really awesome bag sealer that I use. It seals bags beautifully with this thinner acetate, even thicker acetate, but with this kind from like packaging, it's great. So I just hold it and I'm going to slide it along and it cuts it and seals it at the same time. So it's meant for sort of like closing up chip bags or anything that you want to seal off. It's really, I guess, marketed towards the kitchen, but little do they know, I'm a spy looking for crafty stuff. So this was in my 10 hacks video that I posted recently. Got a lot of great response, but it's a wonderful tool. So what you could have done here, instead of me chopping off this right-hand side of the packaging, I could have just sealed closer in and made it smaller because I wanted a smaller shaker bag. Now I'm going to be, I have a lot of sequins. This does use up a lot of sequins for this technique because I'm making a slimline shaker and it's going to be the entire window of the shaker. So it does take a lot of sequins. I don't mind. I have a lot of sequins in my stash. It makes me feel good to use up some of it. So I'm going to then just seal off the top. And I do the same technique here. I'm just going to seal it first, going left to right, and then I'm going to hold it and seal down. All right, so here's 3 shaker bags that I made. 2 of them are going to be in the video today. Really, really fun process. So let's move into making our first card. So I'm going to pull out a lot of different slimline dies today. This first set is from Trinity Stamps. These are the scallop panels and banners. And then I also have the stitched card panels and windows on the back, and we'll use that on the last card. I don't use the banners in this video. However, I do use pretty much all of the slimlines. These are from Kraftgali, and these are scalloped as well. And so I'm going to be using those also. Those are the stitched scallops. I love the way that those cut out 2 different. So here I'm going to show you the Kraftgali ones first. So they cut out the inside and you get a frame. I think that's brilliant. It really does maximize your the cost of these dies if you can get multiple uses. So I am going to start the coloring process right now, and I'm going to be using some OHUHU bullet tip markers. This is the 200 set, and so I'm going to be just coloring up various colors for my manatees. I did leave the coloring in, just sped it up a little bit. And what's funny about alcohol marker coloring is it always looks awful until it looks great. So just go with it. You just got to keep working at it. Make sure you're using good paper. This right here is accent paper. So it's a less expensive cardstock from Amazon. I've done reviews on, and it works great. I've tested it out. Make sure you're using that. Make sure you're using the right black ink. I stamped these with Memento Tuxedo black ink, and that's really good for alcohol marker coloring. But beyond that, you just got to work your colors together. So I went back and forth from lightest to darkest, darkest to lightest. I'm taking a page from Kelly Latavola's playbook there and just practicing that technique. And with every time I color, you know, it's always a work in progress. The final touch I do with these manatees, I'm going to show you, is I put dots. And you see the difference between the one without the dots and the one with. It just makes all the difference, in my opinion. It really adds and kind of closes the loop on that design for the manatee. So let's get into some ink blending here. I definitely did speed this up, or else we would be here for 2 hours. Literally, I had 2 hours of footage. So I sped up some things and cut out some others that was just unnecessary things. So I'm going to use these Distress Oxide colors here, and I'm going to get this beautiful ombre effect. I'm going to spritz it with some shimmer powder, or not shimmer powder, shimmer spray. And then I'm going to pick it up with a paper towel, and we're going to get this beautiful underwater, just distressed look. For the shaker, so normally you don't have to put acetate because the packaging is the acetate. But because my packaging was the tiniest bit too small for my slimline die here, I put a piece of acetate down first. Again, not necessary, and you'll see me do it in the last card. You don't need to do this if it fits properly. But because I just didn't want any gaps in between the packaging and my shaker bag. So that's why I put that acetate down. Then I'm going to put some more double-sided adhesive on the back of that acetate. I'm going to add my shaker bag, and then you're going to put your foam tape. That's when you put your foam tape on, once you have your shaker bag down. I don't have to deal with lining up anything really, or pouring sequins in there. I think it's fun. I think it's a really great way to make a shaker card, and it's very simple. Then I'm going to lay this down onto my card panel. And then after that, I'm just going to start decorating my card. So I'm putting down my manatees. I'm putting down some of those other images. We like this set that we chose here because it does offer more than just one main image. So you have little accent pieces that you can add. And you could stamp them out as much as you want and get as many of those little seaweed things or shells or clams, whatever you want. You can just get, use them up. I am going to bubble cut my sentiments here. I'm going to choose Celebrate Your Day. That's funny to say it. Say it out loud for yourself. Celebrate. I sound like Sean Connery, no? No, I don't. So then I'm going to place that down on there, and we're just going to put something heavy on it so it sticks. And that's our first card. I am going to finish it off with some of my favorite Nouveau drops, which are the Dream Drops. And so I just think those are super fun. And there we have our finished card. So shaker on a slimline, it's a lofty goal, but you can do it. So you just got to give it a try. Let's move into our second card here. This is going to be some more ink blending. So fun. I am going to do another ombre look, except this way I'm going horizontally in the ombre. I'm using Catherine Puller inks on this one instead of Distress Oxide. And I'm going to be getting a very different look. So first, when I was doing this, the blue all the way, the darkest blue on this panel wasn't dark enough. I felt like I wasn't getting the contrast that I needed. So I went back and I brought in blue suede shoes. I always want to call it blue suede shoes for obvious reasons. But I brought in the suede shoes, and I'm just going to give that a nice little touch there on the bottom. So we have... Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing, shimmer, spritz, and drop some water droplets on there. I like to do that because it leaves a shimmery result behind instead of just regular water. And then I'm going to take some Versamark sticky ink right on the bottom of this, and I'm going to pull out some Hero Arts sand embossing powder. I got this in a kit. I will, if I could find it, I will link it below, but it is magical. And so I used this on the second card, probably the third card, and the fourth card, I believe. We'll see. But I think it's so great. It's like this gold embossing with the darker flecks, and it's just beautiful. So then I'm just going to have these manatees having a good time in the ocean. So they're having a rocking good time playing, and the same sentiment is there again. I know you want me to say it again. Celebrate your day. Okay, so now I'm going to place this down on my card panel, and there is the finished card for this one. This is very simple too, but still a little bit of a wow. Again, this is a small stamp set. You can use and cut out as many manatees as you want on there. Make a whole bunch of them. All right, I discovered scrapbook.com stencils, and I have them in this binder, and they're incredible. So they're wonderful for any card size, A2, 5x7, Slimline. They work for everything. So I'm going to pull out this Sunray one, and I'm going to just add a little bit of white ink onto this already blue cardstock. I didn't want to color up a piece of white cardstock for this. You don't have to. And then I'm going to stamp out the bubbles. Again, lots of little stamps that you get in this one. So I'm working on this card. I'm finishing it. I finished all my projects, and only after we finish our cards can we share with each other, me and Jen, because neither one of us wants to be influenced. So, because I know she always comes up with awesome ideas, and then I'm like, I want to do that. So we wait until we're finished, then we send the picture of the cards. And so I sent the picture of this, and only then, when I looked at the picture of the cards, did I notice that I probably should have turned the sunray around and have it coming from the top. And she said, no, it looks good. It's like the two of their, the two manatees, their love is lighting up the ocean. So I thought, oh, you're so nice. What a crafty friend to help me forgive my blunder. But I guess it's not a blunder. It can go either way. This is card making. It doesn't have to be that serious. But it was just funny because it took me all the way. As I'm making this card right now, as you're watching it, I'm like, yeah, this is perfect. This is exactly how it should be. But then I took a second look at it later. I was like, I think that probably would have gotten better the other way. That's okay. That's what we do. And I keep it in here, and we talk about it. All right, so I'm just going to add my two cuties right here at the bottom. And I have this die. If you've watched my videos, I have a container full of sentiments, and I just pulled out the one that says together. And I thought that really kind of made the card really look a lot better. I don't know what it was about that die, but I stamped better, and then I put together right there. I'm going to fill up the big bubbles with some glue, glitter glue, and you're going to see a close-up here of that. And I just thought that was another added nice addition. It's all the extra little stuff that we do to our cards, I feel like just makes them to the next level. So moving into our next card here, I'm going to show you these Trinity stamps, Trinity dies for the Slimline Scenic border. So we have the grass, the hillside, and the cloud die. And these are great because they're already cut to size. So first thing I did was put some tumbled glass distress oxide on my cardstock. By the way, I am using Bristol Smooth cardstock for all of these panels that I'm coloring on. It just makes it a lot easier to ink blend. And right here, that's how simple it is to get an ocean scene. You just put down a piece of masking paper, or just hold a piece of copy paper right over there and just ink blend on, and you have yourself a horizon. But I am going to take in this cloud die and use it as a stencil or a mask, however you view that. But it's so funny because the stormy sky that I'm putting on right now really does not lie. My daughter saw this and said, it looks like it's just cloudy and kind of stormy. And I said, well, you know, you can rely on Distress Oxide to tell you the truth. Had I done it again, I'd use a lighter color, I think, just to brighten it up a little bit. I am going to make the hillside the entire embossing for that sand embossing. And then I am going to add something really special to it. So right here, I'm just adding this to my card. I drew a line because it's hard to see when, you know, you have something bigger than your card panel over it. So I just flipped it over, drew a pencil line, and then I'm lining it up. Simple, probably, you know, not helpful tip. Who knows? All right, now I'm going to put down my sun, and then I am going to do one of my favorite techniques when it comes to the ocean and where you have the shoreline. I am going to take out this white pearl modeling paste and very haphazardly and with really no intention. I think I thought I was having intention as you watch me here, but you don't need any. You just can slop it down. I started to do that, so here I'm adding it to the other side. And it's just such a really cool look. There's no way to predict what the surf will look like, so it doesn't have to be a certain kind of way. It can be any way you want to put it down. But it just makes this card, in my opinion, a wow card. I did get a little bit of a glob there, but no big deal. That will just be where I put my manatee. I added a couple extra stamps that I cut out, and I'm going to use my Nuvo drops again on those. Now I'm just going to stamp out my sentiment. This is all dry, by the way, Nuvo drops and modeling paste. And I am going to put, have a Manatee-rific day. Cute sentiment. I would love to be having a Manatee-rific day right now on the beach in this scene. Ugh, but I digress. So right now I'm going to add some scrapbook.com foam tape. This is double-sided adhesive, and I have it in 2 different sizes here that I'm showing you. I really love this stuff. It's not too thick. It's just the right amount of dimension, and it just makes it so easy to cover your panels, because if you send stuff through the mail and you have divots from spacing for foam adhesive, you're gonna run the risk of it bending a lot more in the mail. And that will be our finished card with the realistic surf right here. Here are some photos of this card, and you'll see here in the upcoming close-ups just what a fun little addition that is. You can probably use, I have used on the tops of waves, I've used the snow marker as well, and then heat set it and it puffs up, and that looks really cool also. All right, let's move into our last card. So here I'm going to be using this die set right here. This is also from Trinity Stamps, and we're going to have a window to play with. So I already have my cut panel. I'm going to die cut the windows here. This card is easy, so I'm just going to talk and tell you a quick little story while you watch the card we put together. So as I was die cutting this, I put it through my Gemini Junior, and my Gemini Junior had stopped, like the power gone. I troubleshot. You can't even reverse it. The die cut panels are stuck into the machine. There's no reversing because there's no power. So I'm troubleshooting it, and I'm, looking at is it plugged in? Like the whole, rookie amateur troubleshooting. No, nothing's working. It's plugged in. It's not working. So I thought, well, my husband, who has a background in electronics tech, I thought, well, he'll be super proud of me if I tried to fix this myself. And so I thought, maybe if I can just unscrew, so I grabbed his drill, if I can just unscrew the Gemini covering from itself, I can open it, and then voila, it will come out. Well, I did that, and no luck, didn't come out. I thought, well, maybe if I just unscrew this side of this, and we can let one of the sides go, and then it'll work. So I unscrewed all those. Now at this point I have about 25 screws laying around. And with each step the card or the machine is coming apart more and more. But I was like, I'm going to remember how this goes back together. So when my husband comes home, Okay, well, I think you know where this is going. About 45 minutes later, every single piece inside the Gemini Junior is out on my floor. I'm covered in sticky oil, and I still can't get my die cutting plates out of the die cutting machine. So I gave up. I said, okay, that's it. So my husband came home. Side note on the card, I am adding string to these balloons. So I put down a little piece of double-sided adhesive, and then I'm just going to stick it there, and then you'll see me line them up with the manatees. So he comes home, and I'm like half excited because he's going to think, well, good, you're trying to do these things that you usually wait for me to do. And I knew there was a little part of me that was like, he's going to say, why didn't you just wait? So here I am in limbo land waiting for him to come home. And of course I smile and shrug my shoulders up. I'm like, hi. what's up? I said, well, here's the thing. And I told him what happened, and he's like, I said, it goes, oh, so you broke it. I was like, oh no, I didn't break it. I didn't break any pieces. Like, all the pieces are still there. And he went over and he walked around the desk and he looked at it and he's like, you're kidding, right? So, here's a picture of what's left of my Gemini Junior. We're not fixing it. I don't know what's happening. The time it would take for him to figure out where things go. He goes, this is why I don't want you to do it, because when I take it apart, I know where all the pieces go. Well, I told him, I said, well, that was my intention too, that I was going to know where everything went. And he just looked at me and I was like, okay, we know each other too well. So anyway, he really did want to try to put it back together, but I was like, it's fine. It's fine. It was giving me a couple areas of trouble anyway. It's gotten lots of love. I'll move on. So that's my story. So if you have an expert in your house, don't try to impress them. Okay, but the funniest part of it was, yes, I thought he would be impressed if I fixed it myself, but more importantly, I have to be honest, because this is the truth channel. Because he called me out and he was like, you didn't want to fix, he goes, you didn't want me to be impressed by it. You just were making a card and you didn't want to wait. And so you went in there on your own. I was like, oh, that's true. I just had a window of time that I was going to have to make cards, and I needed it done now. So he called me out. So therefore, I will call myself out to all of you. That's the truth. Okay, cards finished. All the cards are finished. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure you head over to Jen's channel so that you can see what she did with the stamp set. They're so cute. You're going to love them. Thanks for joining. I will list everything I used in the video below if you want to check that out, as well as the link to Jen's video, and she'll be linked at the end of this one also. There's also a Linktree link below where you can find all the other social media platforms where we can connect, as well as any affiliate links if you are in the market to shop. I will see you all in the next video. Have a fantastic week. Bye-bye.